Today we're going to be solving quadratics by graphing. Make sure to take notes and to do the survey at the end. Here are the steps. Find the vertex, make a table, graph the points, and then finally name the x-intercepts as your solutions. So let's try one. First we have y equals 2x squared minus 16x plus 30. To find the solutions we must first find the vertex. We use vertex formula, which is x equals opposite of b over 2a. We plug in the opposite of our b value, and since b is negative 16, we're going to plug in 16 divided by 2 times 2 is our a value. This simplifies to 16 divided by 4, which is just 4. Now we make a table. We plug 4 into the middle of our x values because this is where the vertex occurs. We do 2 points below, 5 and 6, and 2 points above, 3 and 2. And then we must plug into our equation to find the y values. So if I plug in 4, the vertex first, remember, when I start to simplify this, I need to make sure I do 4 squared before I do 2 times 4. So I have 2 times 16 minus 16 times 4 plus 30. You have to watch your order of operations here. If you have a calculator that can insert the whole thing at one time, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So then, as I simplify this, I get 32 minus 64 plus 30, which is negative 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the 3 in my table. When I simplify that, I get 0. And finally, I'm going to do it for the 2 in my table. Again, remember to square that 2 before multiplying. And as I simplify that, I'll get 6. Now, the nice thing about a parabola is they're symmetrical. So once you find the top half, you already know the bottom half. Now we're going to graph it. And our solutions are our x-intercepts. So our solutions are at x equals 3 and at x equals 5. Here's another example. Negative x squared minus 2x plus 3. Again, we're going to find our vertex using the vertex formula first. Here, opposite of b would be the opposite of negative 2, which is positive 2, divided by 2 times negative 1. This will give me 2 over negative 2, which is just negative 1. So again, I'm going to make my table, putting my x value of my vertex into the middle of my table, and then putting 2 x values below and 2 x values above, counting by ones. Now I'm going to plug into my original formula to find the y values. So when I do that, I'm going to plug in my vertex first, remembering to square that negative one first before I start my multiplication. Now as I simplify that, I get y will equal 4, so then I'm going to do my negative 2. And again, as I simplify that, I get positive 3. And then I'm going to plug in my negative 3. And as that simplifies, I get 0. So again, I plug in those values into the table, and because parabolas or quadratics are symmetrical, I know not only the top half of my table, but I can reflect that and make the bottom half of my table. Now I plot those points and make the graph. And then I need to name my solutions as the x-intercepts. So the solutions here are x equals negative 3 and x equals positive 1. Let's do one more. So again, I need to find my vertex for x squared minus 2x plus 5. Using the vertex formula, x equals the opposite of b over 2a. So here I have 2 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2 divided by 2, which is 1. I make my table, putting my vertex in the middle, adding x values below and above. There's a typo there. That should be a 3. So then I plug into my problem and simplify, and I get, for the vertex, when I plug in 1 I get 4, then when I plug in 0 and simplify I get 5, then when I plug in -1 and simplify I get +8. Now I can go back to my table and fill in those numbers and reflect it over the bottom half to get the other ones. Now when I graph this, everything is above the x-axis and it's extending upward. Since this never crosses the x-axis, I have no solutions. So if your parabola never crosses the x-axis, we have no solutions. Now, if this parabola were facing down and my table did not have them crossing the x-axis, then I would need to extend my table in order to get enough points for it to cross the x-axis. So just remember, find the vertex using vertex formula, make a table, graph the points, and then name the x-intercepts as solutions. Make sure you do the survey. Here are the survey questions if you can't see them all.